into the okay, everyone, if you do like to voice out your opinion, please raise your hand first. Then after that, the moderator will will choose you to deliver your opinion. Okay, so here it is. Okay. Okay, so now, Ms. Uchi, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. Thank you for the opportunity. What an introduction! You just raised you just raised the expectation. I'm afraid that I will break it. Okay. So can you hear my voice clearly right now?
Very clear, very clear.
Okay. Okay. Thank God. Okay. So, hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm very flattered. Okay. Good evening. With the spirit of good morning. So my name is Suchi. So I will be your moderator for today's discussions. So first of all, I'm just like feel sorry for bringing another self-development theme. That so we end up having self-development theme like 2 weeks in a row. But the reason why I bring this topic because like all of us have each of us has a different background, and also because I'm not an expert in any field. So that is why I just want to bring a topic which can relate but to all of us, the human. Okay, so it's just like about love and self love. So I hope you can actively give your opinion so that we can have the productive discussion tonight. Okay, so I think we can just start with the topic. So the topic is, can you please first with the title first? Okay, the first slide. Okay, so selfishness and ignorance, responding to stigma with self-love. Okay, so self-love is just an ideology which is very which has become trendy, especially among millennials and Gen Z. So that is why like people have been trying to define like self-love for ages, and just to illustrate it to the point, I try to look up the definition of the self-love. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so actually, to be honest, personally, I also think it's a little bit tricky. This is because it's not only a confusing topic, but it's also like it weighs heavily on our own interpretation of love, right? Since love is a subjective experience and it isn't easily definable for most people, uh, like a lot of people also can easily admit, like, I don't know what is love, what love is actually. But please do not hesitate to state your subjective opinion here. Okay. So is there anyone who want to share like what is your opinion about self-love? So what is self-love to you? And please do not hesitate like to state your subjective opinion, because it's just like all of us know that love is an subjective experience, and all of us have our own interpretation of love. Yeah. Is there anybody here who want to speak about? Okay. Okay, so this one, if I'm not wrong, that this one is Miss Sophie. And actually, okay, first of all, I'm just very grateful that Miss Sophie is here, because I know that she is. Okay, so Miss Soph or Miss Sophie, please state your opinion. What is self-love to you?
All right. Thank you, Miss Suchi, for giving me the opportunity. Is it too crowded here?
Not really, actually. I can hear your voice.
Okay, because I have some guests at home. Okay, parents guess.
Okay.
All right. I think self-love, like its name, it's loving ourselves, of course. But I think it not always mean that we love everything about ourselves, but it also means that we are willing to be able to upgrading ourselves, which is take a look with our weaknesses and mistakes that we have done. That means we willing to be able to be a good to be a better person. I think that's self-love.
Okay, thank you, Miss Sophie. So
Thank
based on
you.
Miss Sophie, that self-love is just like loving ourselves, of course, and then it's just like look into ourselves and embrace all of the faults and all of the likeness in ourselves. So that is why we love all of the bad side and good side in ourselves. Is there anybody else who wants to speak about self-love? Mr. Sunshine, maybe because looking at your Instagram full of love, mentioning about love and the dark side and and then the bright side of love. And actually, that is also one of the reason why I bring this topic because I see your posts every day about love. Okay, Miss Pina, we are having Miss Pina right here. So, Miss Pina, hello, Miss Pina. Okay, can you please unmute yourself first? Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Could you hear my voice?
yes, I can hear your voice very clear.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give about my opinion about self-love. So in my opinion, self-love is one of the way how to appreciate ourselves and finding our happiness without hope the other people give us the happiness. And uh, we can what is that? Accept other opinion and the criticism of other people without ignores them. That's my opinion. So self-love is about the upgrading ourselves and look for our happiness and acceptance in ourselves. That's my opinion.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, so it's self-love. Best of Miss Pina is just appreciating ourselves,
Yeah.
and also we can upgrade ourselves with by reflecting, and then by hearing about others' opinion and hearing their constructive criticism also. So we don't ignore them. So we accept and then upgrade ourselves with that. So that is what's called self-love for Miss Pina. Wow, that is so cool. Okay, is there any? Can I choose from one of the participants here, Mr. Sunshine? Oh, okay, Miss
Just anyone.
Maya.
Just anyone.
Okay, okay. So now just Miss Maya just raised her hand. Miss Maya, can you please give your opinion about what is self-love?
Thank you, Miss Suchi, for the opportunity.
Yes.
I totally agree with Miss Sophie before. Eh, Um, but I wanna add my opinion about self-love. Self-love is an important aspect of mental health. When self-love is applied, you will find it easier to think positively, including when you're angry, disappointed, or sad, because it is a form of self acceptance. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Maya. Yes, so Miss Maya also said like a similar opinion that is self-love is about appreciating ourselves and also give how to say um, and also just can think positively, and then it's a big part of the mental health. Self-love is has self-love has a big part in mental health. Okay, so thank you for the opinion. So can we go to the next slide. Okay, so based on the, am I the one who see the how to say? So the slide is just covered from something. Oh, okay. I think it's good now. I'm sorry. Okay, so based on the professionals like a therapist, Andrea Brand, like self-love means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Self-love means not settling for less than you deserve. Okay, so next slide, please, Mr. Sunshine. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so related to the definition of self-love from a therapist before, that self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. So actually self-love is largely being adapted to praise like I choose me. Okay, if you search about self-love, it's just like a lot of people like, oh, okay, I appreciate myself and I choose me. I choose my peace over any other. Okay, so that self-love means choosing yourself. Do you agree that self-love means choosing yourself? I mean, like if there is a problem and then it's not very concerned to you, it's not you actually you don't really need to get involved with that problem, but actually you can help. But since you how to say like since you prioritizing yourself, and then okay, actually that is matter, but I'm not happy if I involve in that matter, so I will just choose my peace. The self-love means choosing yourself. Okay, hello, Miss Livia. Okay, so Miss Livia, can you state your opinion?
Yeah, I agree that self-love means choosing yourself when it's about between you and the other people, like outside yourself. But sometimes the war is not, or the problem is not between you and the other person, but between you and yourself as well. And it's happened more often than when you have the problem with the other person. So, for example, like you have a dilemma when you want to you need to finish your assignment and you are getting closer to the deadline, but at the same time you want to enjoy and just chill or watching your favorite Netflix series. So you kind of have a fight between you and yourself. So in this case, like self-love is also important. Like you have to decide wisely whether you are choosing the right decision. Like when you are very, very exhausted and you need to take a break, of course you can say like, it's okay, I can watch my Netflix series, but maybe only one series and then I will go back to my working again. It can be a self-love also, because sometimes in this kind of hustle culture, you are very, very over push yourself until you are getting sick just for getting achievement in the workplace or something. But in the same time also you cannot just watching Netflix and chill all the time, and then you miss your assignment, and then you miss your um working in your workplace. So it gonna make you fired, and then you got broke, and then so on. So in this kind of self-love, you have to keep balance for yourself, not always giving up for the you know uh, reckless decision, but also sometimes thinking furthermore for your future. Like if I do like this, this will be good for me in the long run, or this is only indulge me for the moment, like that. This is also self-love for me, and it is the most difficult one, kind of self-love. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Miss Livia. Yeah, so I think all of us can relate to this. Even if like we are working or we're studying, and then there is like I just want to chill right now. So I'm kinda a little bit tired, so I just want to chill. But Miss Livia said that it's it just like mm, have a resting, but with the certain line. It just like choosing yourself, like it's more matter that between you and yourself, not you and others. And then when you and yourself, it's the most difficult war when we choose that one. Okay, so um self love means choosing yourself, right? So and also Miss Livia said that when you decided to rest, and then after that you know that you have some responsibility to be done, and then that is also means choosing yourself also. Yes, I do agree with that. It's a very I don't know, it's just like a very complete statement about self love. Okay, is there any other opinion about self-love means choosing yourself? Okay, Miss Pina. So do you agree that self-love means choosing yourself?
Yeah. In my opinion, self-love is choosing ourselves, but it doesn't mean I don't care with other people's. Exactly, choosing ourselves means I maintain the positive tips in my life, and I control the negative things in my life and keep my circumstances. So I still care with other, and I will think, do I disturb the other people? If I do it, I will think about that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, it's very interesting. This one also like self-love means choosing yourself. Yes, I choose myself, but in my own space. I think that's what
Yeah.
Miss Pina wants to say. Like, so I choose myself, but in my own space. Like, let's say that
Yeah.
when we want to hear some music, but then we are in the crowded place, or we are have a very near neighbor, so we just consider that if it's not will it if I won't be disturbed, and then I will do it, but if I don't, and then I can't do that. Choosing myself in my own space. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, is there any other opinion? Okay, let's ask about Mr. AK. Mr. AK, are you in your hiding? Mr. AK, please state your opinion about self-love. Okay, I don't think Mr. AK is the place. What about Mr. Tommy? Because Mr. Sunshine just said that choose choose a speaker from a female. Okay, actually, I'm looking for Abdul Latif right now. Okay, hello, Mr. Abdul Latif. Hello, good evening. So does
Good evening.
self-love? Okay, does self-love mean choosing yourself? So do you agree with that statement?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think if self-love meaning is choosing ourselves, because the God give ourselves as a reason. So for realizing that if we just love ourselves.
Okay, so it just like means self-love means choosing yourself, or that so that means that realizing that we love ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, when we choose yourself. Okay, when we choose ourselves. Okay, thank you for your opinion. I'm sorry for picking up you when you're begging not to. Okay, so is there anybody else want to state the opinion? Mr. Tommy, are you there?
Yeah. I will
Okay.
share my opinion after ya, because I'm still
Okay, sure.
on the way.
Okay, sure. Okay. Okay, so about self-love means choosing yourself, all of the speakers say that yes, they are agree that self-love means choosing yourself. But someone say that only in my own space. And then someone say that if it is the matter of me and others, yes, of course I will choose myself. And then someone say that choosing myself make me realize that will convince me that okay, I love myself. Okay, so can we go to the next slide, Mr. Sanchan? Yes. So despite of popular opinion about self-love means healing, it's just like a good ideology for us, especially youngsters or millennials and Gen Z, which is popular among us because I'm also millennials. But there is some contradictive opinion that say that about the ideology of seeking of happiness by adopt the self-love ideology. Like not only do millennials lack the kind of empathy that allows them to feel concern for others, but they also have trouble even intellectually understanding others' point of view. At times the millennials, like the me generations. Okay, and also many critics now blame the popular American 1980s self-esteem movement for producing a generation of emotionally fragile young adults who expect praise simply for showing up for work, cannot accept constructive criticism, demand safe space on the university campus where they will not hear any challenging opinion and trigger warnings before lectures that might discuss sensitive issues. So it is like William Reville wrote in his article, The Misguided US Self-Esteem Lingers on This Side of the Atlantic. Okay, so and also in the article that self-esteem, when they try to boost some esteem, unfortunately it will also can how to say, to pave the way to the tendency to narcissism. So that is why that the self the popular American 1980 self-esteem movement, they look at it as a failed movement because they just born us, the millennials, who is labeled as lazy, and also only that don't want to and also it's just like not not for risky things or sensitive issues. Okay, so based on this unpopular uh, contradictive opinion, can we go to the next slide, Mr. Sunshine? So this, so self-love is a basic human necessity to help us in realizing our truest potential and the deepest values of love, or a moral flaw that it places us upon the path of self-exaltation and narcissism and apathy. Because when you look into the self-love, there's just a lot of people who adapt to this ideology, like say that if you cannot love yourself, there is no way that you can love others. So that is why millennials and also Gen Z that tend to marriage late. That is why they tend to be single, because they try to wait for them to appreciate themselves first. So that is why they can value they can they can realize the truest potential and also the deepest values of love. But in the other hand, and this one is based on the contradictive opinion before, like a more it, some people look self-love is like a moral flaw that is places us upon the path of self-exaltation, narcissism, and apathy. And also, it's just like that is why a lot of millennials not appreciating their career, and also just like not it's like unmet expectation when they expect more but they don't meet that expectation. So that is why because they think higher of them. So what do you think? So is it there is two contradictive opinion here. So basic human necessity and then a moral flow. So what do you think about this? Can you, Mr. Sophie, can you please state your opinion about this?
Is it me?
Yes, Mr. Sophie.
Okay. All right. I think there is a huge difference between what is this, narcissism and self-love. In my opinion, if when it comes to self-love, it means that we need the validation from ourselves only. We accept ourselves for ourselves. And narcissism is actually the opposite behavior. It's the feeling of the sense need validation from other people. And I think another difference that we can see that when it comes to self-love, it it is the time when we acknowledge our flaws and we are thankful for it because we accept who we are. But when it comes to narcissism, we want other people to accept it. We want other people to love all the strength and weaknesses that we have because we need the love from them. I think that's from me. And I think I have read the 3 rules that can makes us differentiate between self-love and narcissism. Uh, it said like this: when you feel happy and the others not sad, it means you can do it. But when you feel happy and other feel sad because of it, it means you don't need to do it. But there's also the 3 rules that say if you are happy for doing it and other not feel sad, neither feel happy, it means you need to ignore the rule number 3. If that explain, I think that's from me.
Yeah,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Sophie. So Miss Sophie said that self-love is just like accepting ourselves only to ourselves. But narcissism is just like we ask others to accept ourselves. So just like kind of ask for validation. So, but and then also Miss Sophie said that the 3 rules. So and then the conclusion is like when you do it and then you feel happy and then the other sad. I'm sorry. If you are sad but others feel happy about it and then you do it, that is just close to the that you can ask for validation for the others. Okay. So self-love is just like accepting ourselves only to ourselves, not asking validation from the others. Okay, Mr. Tommy, are you ready to give your statement?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hello,
Mr. Tommy.
Mr. Sunshine, Miss Yuchi. Thank you for the opportunity to me. I'm sorry, I just arrived at my home.
It's okay.
Okay. Actually, I'm very agree about the what we said. Self-love can be a narcissism, yeah, or maybe in the lot of volume, lot of volume. It can be as a what we call maybe it make ourselves doing crime, ya, as a apa itu yeah, I forget what the name, yeah. Okay, basically I agree if human must have a self love from themselves, because we need to make ourselves comfortable. But sometimes we must understand that other people have the same condition like us. Yeah, we cannot interrupt their comfortable zone. We cannot avoid them, because they have comfortable zone also. So that's why we must always understand about the other people condition. Okay, that's my opinion, Miss Uchi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tommy. So just like self-love is like we need self-love so that we can make ourselves comfortable. But like just as some speakers said before, like in our own space. So that is why we cannot ignore others' comfortable zone, others' comfort zone as well. So that is why we need to practice our self-love in our own space. Okay. So that is why, which means that Mr. Tommy also agreed that the self-love is like a basic human necessity. Okay, so Mr. Zulpadri.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Ching.
Good evening.
So I'm a
What is your
newcomer
opinion about
here.
this contradiction?
I'm newcomer here, invited with
Welcome.
Bang Tommy. So for the first, maybe sorry, maybe my vocab still limited, but I won't give one opinion about the topics tonight. So I think it's a very interesting topic. How can we serve love ourselves? Sometimes in every day we are busy only to love our environment, our family, our daughter, uh, our wife, maybe our but sometimes we forget to love ourselves. So uh, I agree with Misuchi said before. How can we love the others if we cannot love ourselves? So I think self-love is about care and balance. Care about our healthy, about our happiness, about our objective in the next time, and balance about our activity, about our daily activity, and our happiness in life. I mean here about if we are as student, we have balance about our study and about our holiday maybe, and if we are an employer, how can we balance about work life balance? So I think so first I think I very agree, love yourself. How can you love yourself? Love what Do what you love. Do what you love. And then if you have to do what you love, and then love what you do. I think that's all, Mr. Chi, for my little opinion about self-love. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zulpadri. And then so Mr. Zulpadri said that love what you do what you love, and then later you will love what you do. Okay, so like Mr. Zulpadri said before, that how can someone can love others when they cannot love themselves? But there is any other contradictory opinion about it. Like you don't need to wait to love yourself so that you can love your the others, and then that is also make the how to say the some community which say that that is why a lot of youngsters right now, that is why a lot of millennials and also Gen Z millennials, especially when there are a lot of them already at the age of marriage, but tend to wait because like I want to seek about myself first. I want to seek about what is what I love and who am I. So I want to practicing my self love first. So that is why until I'm ready to love the others. But the community say that that is not the ideal thing because like you don't need to wait to love yourself. Sometimes when you love others and then you find yourself when you have a reflection of the others. So what do you think about it? Is there any opinion about this one? It's just like so some community like said that self love is just like um, how to say like overrated. Self love is overrated because that your life is not just about emotion and also that you it's just part of yourself. It's not all of you. Like you yourself also part of the environment. And also you don't need to wait to love yourself first to love the others. Is there any opinion about this? What about Miss Akila? Miss Akila, are you there?
Yes, Miss. Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Akila.
Actually, I don't have any idea about this, but perhaps sometimes people do terrible aspect and they said or, or ignoring about another human right with the what is that alasan with the reason it's about their self love. Gimana sih? Sorry, it's with the reason. Sorry.
Do you mean like as an excuse?
Yes, sorry, Miss.
It's some kind of as an excuse to love themselves by ignoring others' opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that self love is just like overrated? So actually we don't maybe we need it, but actually we don't really need it in that extent. Because we have like two contradictive opinion here. Like some say that self love is just like a healing and then a way to find your own happiness. And then some say that actually it's just a moral flaw and an excuse so that you can just ignore the problem and then you can just ditch the problem. So what do you think about it? So which one are you right now?
I suppose that a basic human necessary is a good one.
Okay.
Then a moral flaw.
Why?
Yeah, because I don't know. Sorry.
It's okay. Like I said in the beginning, like love is just like a subjective reason and subjective experience for all of us. So that is why even there are a lot of people also easily admit I don't know what love is. Okay. So okay, I just want to hear about Mr. Sunshine opinion on this. Because to be honest, it's just like when I see the post that when maybe it's just like some way to promote your Instagram account also, and then when he posts about a lot of things about the love, he always posts about the dark side and the bright side. So I just want to hear about Mr. Sunshine opinion on this one.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know about self-love, but what I feel is that the happiness of others might come as my happiness. And that's why I become someone that tend to sacrifice myself just to let others be ecstatic and can smile. And that's what we want to be existed. And Okay. Let's put aside something related to my Instagram account. Okay, I like to criticize a little bit about what Sophie has said before in regard to narcissism. So she said that narcissism is like when we force someone to believe and goes in line with what we say to them. But in my perspective, narcissism is like different with being selfish. So what she said is related to being selfish, while narcissism is not necessarily meaning selfish, because narcissism is like a typical attitude when you want to show off something that you believe it can elevate your positions upon them. You want everyone to look you from higher perspective. They want every one of you. They want everyone other than themselves can really appreciate them, while they diminish the respect they can give toward others. And that's what we mean by narcissisms. When we try to correlate narcissism and self-love, it means that I can say I prefer to side with the moral flow. Self-love is a moral flow because as a matter of fact, narcissism can be justified and can be validated using the term that is used by Sophie before, validation. Okay, okay. So yeah, narcissism can be validated as long as we believe it can bring some benefits for ourselves, because we regard or we appreciate ourselves higher, more impactful, more fulfilling than others. And that's why our regard, our concerns toward others' feelings, other existences and circumstances become second to none. Means that every bad attitude can be justified as long as we can bring our self-happiness. Okay, and that's what we see as a moral flow. Okay, and I don't say that self-love is a basic human necessity. Okay, I say that it can be our second, not a basic, because still okay, regardless of everyone purpose on their life, I believe that human wants to be admitted. Okay, when we take a look at the Abraham Maslow, how to say, the motivation theories, where he actually described about several purposes of why human existed. And the highest is like self-actualization, means that human wants to be admitted. They want to get recognition from others. And that's why self-love comes second, because the first one is the social admittance toward yourself, toward ourselves, means that we exist in the middle of them. They believe we exist for them, and that's why we need to sacrifice ourselves for them. We want to bring such a benefit for them. And yeah, and that's why that became the very reason why I put self-love definitions as a basic human necessity as the secondary necessity type. Okay, so it is not the truest potential, it's not the deepest values of love. Yeah, because there is something that trample or overtopping the definitions of self-love. Okay. Okay, I think that's from me. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I think I just approve my perspective about Mr. Sunshine, like how he expressed about the self love is about the two contradictive opinion about it. Like so, it's just like about the moral flow. It's more self love is just is more like a secondary human necessity, because like people live to get admitted. It's like to get they want to get recognized by the others, and also that is why like self love, that narcissism about how to say like fun. Why did I'm sorry. What did you say before? Okay, so it's just like self love is about it's more like secondary human necessity, right? So it's just like it's not about the truest potential and deepest values of love. That is why we need to sacrifice sometimes for others. I think that's what Mr. Sansan said. Okay, so about this one, I think like some people just mentioned about self-care, and some people just mentioned about self-acceptance. Okay, so can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so as we heard before, that what is about the self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-care, self-awareness. Okay, so just like when you look into the self-love, like when actually self-love is just, as I said in the beginning, it's very difficult to define like what self-love is. But these words is very how to say, when you look into the self-love, this word will come along with it, like self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-care, and self-awareness. So what do you think, what is the correlation between them, or what is the, maybe which one of them which has the most which has how to say, represent the self-love is? Okay, I think I want to hear from Mr. Saifullah Putra. Hello, Mr. Saifullah.
I'm sorry, Miss, because I just joined this because I have done with my activities tonight.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's okay. Thank you. So, Miss Livia, can I hear your opinion about this? Miss Livia?
Sorry, Miss, yes?
Yeah, so Miss Livia, so about this one, so before you also like mentioned about the self-care and also self-awareness. Like when you say that self-love is actually the most difficult word is about you and yourself. That is why sometimes you need to be aware of yourself. So what do you think, what is the correlation between them? Or which one of these four which represent the self-love itself?
Which one?
Or maybe it's just like four of them, but what is the correlation between them?
I guess four of them. But everyone has their own struggling, like in one of the aspect, like some of the people, they hardly to accept themselves like for who they are, because they're living in such a toxic environment, or negative parents, or like broken home families. And sometimes like they have low self-esteem because when I share about my opinion, like about Asian toxic parents, like they are over criticizing their children, it can affect your self-acceptance, self-esteem, and it can make you feel like you are insecure all the time. You have trust issues, and you are incapable of everything like that. So in that case of, they hardly to self-love, love themselves like for who they are. They always like craving for appreciation from the other people. They cannot fulfill themselves just by being for taking care of themselves alone. They constantly need to pursue others' approval in terms of, so they can love themselves better. Yeah, some people try to fix that problem by going to the psychologist, or maybe for the more the difficult one, they go to psychiatrists and getting help by consuming drugs, like psychotic drug. But it's the matter of how you can accept yourself, who they are, no matter like what kind of situation you are living, because we cannot always expect others to understand our value or our feelings, right? Even though you have parents, even though you have families, you have to remember that they cannot they will not understand you 100%, and they will not love you in the way that you want, exactly like what you want, because they are not yourself. So the best thing to depend on is yourself. Why not you try to love yourself, even though I know that it's hard, but just try your best, like doing what you think can make you feel good about yourself. That is self-love. It's not always about you feel positive all the time. No, it's not like that. But self-love means you can always being your best friend during the difficult time, not only in the happy moment, but also when you are struggling and having a lot of failure in your lifetime. I guess it's the the highest the highest kind of self-love that you can give for yourself, not to give up or surrender to your worst condition, even though it's hard. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Miss Livia. Okay, I'm very grateful for her to give her opinion about this self-love, like, and then the correlation between self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-care, and self-awareness. Like all of us know, like, because we are Asians, because and also like maybe some of us also experience such a thing that how some toxic Asian like overwork their children, like they need to how to say, they want some validation from the environment for their kids. And that is why Miss Livia said that sometimes you cannot force, and also you cannot force like others opinion or others, like even if the closest one, our parents, like how we want them to treat us, because we are not them, they are not us. That is why. So the sometimes like how to about the self acceptance. But what I how to say, what I catch from Miss Livia opinions is just like self acceptance is very important. It's not about the it's not about all of the positive things. So that is why even we can be best friends even if in the worst situations. But once again, about the self acceptance, like when we meet like other expectation about us, maybe I just want to bring up some contradictive opinion. Like maybe they see some potential in ourselves, and maybe we can work for it. But sometimes when, of course, like when they think about self-love, it's about emotions, right? About emotionally, we emotionally accept ourselves, and then when we and when they meet their expectation, they're just like, oh, I cannot do that because I only up to this level. Me is like that. It's just like self-acceptance. Okay, so that is why sometimes like before self-exaltation and also like apathy, and also, oh, I don't how to say, I don't have any ability to help because I'm only like this. I don't have any or even worse, that I'm not in the mood right now. So I'm just like accept myself, I'm being down right now, so I'm not up to that problem. Even if when people have some expectation because they find some potential in ourselves, and then we can work for that. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? The correlation about that self-acceptance and also self-esteem, self-acceptance especially. Okay, Mr. Tommy, what do you think about that, Mr. Tommy?
Okay. It's very interesting topic tonight, yeah, from Miss Uchi. But I'm totally agree with Miss Livia said before. Yeah, I think self-love is all about four. Yeah, that must be self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-care, and self-awareness also. Because as I said before, yeah, a human must be have a self themselves, must be have a love to themselves. Because if you can loving yourself, I think you can love each other. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love you cannot love others. But sometimes I agree with Miss Uchi. Sometimes our parents push their children too hard, yeah, to make someone to have a same position like them, yeah. I think if their parent is a doctor, so commonly they want their children to become a doctor also. If your parent is maybe a general or army, yeah, or lawyer, your parent commonly push you to following their position or their career also, because they believe you can make happy, you can get happiness in your life if you are a lawyer or you are a doctor as themselves. Okay. The second one, I will comment about the self-love. It must be depend on what other self-love also, yeah. Self-love, you can love yourself, but you must be what we said, respect for the other self-love also. You cannot interrupt their comfort zone. You cannot interrupt their opinion. So that's why you must love yourself. I don't know why millennials have opinion about they can do everything, anything, yeah. They can do by themselves. Why they have their opinion? Why they have that opinion? Because as I know, currently many of millennial have sided themselves, yeah, because they feel loneliness. They feel loneliness. No one respect to them. No one care about them. But sometimes they have a perspective. They can do everything by themselves. I don't know why they have that opinion. I think because in my opinion this is a very contradictive, yeah. Sometimes you want to doing by yourself, you disagree if other people interrupt your life, but sometimes you feel loneliness, yeah. So we as maybe Mr. Sulfatri said before, we must have a balancing about this, yeah. Sometimes we must love ourselves, and then sometimes we must giving our love to others. Thank you, Suchi.
Okay. Very great opinion from Mr. Tommy. Yes, so just as Mr. Tommy said that a lot of millennials, I do agree, even if me, myself as millennials also think that a lot of millennials have like emotionally centered, like they feel lonely, they don't feel like they feel judged, and then they feel like how to say, it's not that disrespect from others, but also sometimes they feel that they are very independent, they can do anything with themselves. So that is why it's just like if I say it, it's just like maybe lot of millennials have like dynamic emotional within themselves, and of course that is also centered in emotional. So that is why I do agree. Maybe in my opinion, and also personally, I think that um, a lot of millennials have a lot of have emotionally centered of themselves. So that is why they think a lot more into inside than the outside. So that is why, and then that is why Mr. Tommy said before that sometimes they feel they don't want others to disturb their own space, but sometimes they feel lonely, and then sometimes they enjoy that loneliness. That is why that's a little bit weird, but sometimes that they feel enjoy a lot, just like how Mr. Sunshine. Okay, so it's just like loneliness is my friends. Okay, just like that. Okay, so uh about self-acceptance and self-esteem, self-care, and self-awareness, that we can see that how all of them has a correlation to self-love. Can we go to the next slide, Mr. Sunshine? Yes. So this one, like some of the professionals that assumes that we are okay as we are, and we just need to take care of ourselves as self-care. But self-care alone is not enough. You need to have self-awareness too. Self-care plus self-awareness equals self-love. So it means like we care about ourselves, but we also aware about if whether we lack or something, or whether like Mr. Tommy and also Mr. Like some of the speakers said before, that we do we love ourselves in our own space. So that is why we need to aware about that. That is why we need to care about others' self-love also. That is why sometimes we need to give love to others. Okay, and also blind celebrations of every single aspect of yourself, including your worst traits and habits, is a declaration of perpetual mediocrity and utter conformism and sheer laziness. So this one is actually about a misconception about self-love, like misconception about self-acceptance. So that is why it's just like we declare that we only just mediocre, and then other conformism, and then share our laziness. So we're just lazy. But some people say that it's a form of a self-love. Okay, just like I know I know I'm not healthy, but because I love myself, and then I know that my throat is not in a good condition, but because I love myself, so I will just eat my favorite food, which is very spicy, because I love myself. Like some people just has a misconception about that. And also the early findings, this one is very interesting for me. The early findings showed that indeed kids with high self-esteem did better in school and were less likely to be in various kinds of trouble. It's just that we have learned later that self-esteem is a result, not a cause. So it's not like because self-esteem we did better in school, but because we did better in school, that is why it's a result of the self-esteem. So that is why self-esteem is something one must work at to build, requiring reflection and concrete actions. So that is why when we accept our how to say our bad side and then work for it, and then later we will gain self-esteem. It's not like we have self-esteem so that we will do a good thing. So it's very interesting for me. It's from like some professionals about the psychology professor and also psychotherapist. Okay, can we go to the next slide, Mr. Sunshine? Okay, so like how do we say that about the self-love is this one? Self-love is about like doing what we love, and then doing what we love in our space, and also giving love to others. Also, it's a concept of self-love. Now, I just want to hear from all of you, like how do you practice your self-love? I just want to find out like how you love yourself. Okay. Can we begin from Miss Jess? Do you want to state your opinion? Miss Jess, are you there? Okay, Miss Fina. Miss Fina. So I just want to hear like how you love yourself. How do you practice your self-love? Oh, you're still mute right now?
So one of the way how what I do to do my self love is not to be people pleaser, because I was a people pleaser, and I felt worried. I felt so sorry if somebody else asks my help, and I say no if I can. I feel so worried. So now I try to be brave to say no to the others, and also I was I used to be insecure and compare ourselves to others. So now I attempt not to compare myself to other. And this is one of the way how to appreciate myself. Yeah, maybe some people they compare about their process to other. Why my process is so long? Yeah, but it's okay. And now I think it's okay if I am slowly progressing. But the main point, I do it as as good as I can, and I bring my soul. That's all for me. Thank you, Miss.
Unmute yourself first.
I'm sorry, I'm doing the same thing as Miss Pina before. Okay, so thank you, Miss Pina. So as Miss Pina said before, that she practiced self-love is just about like by saying no. Okay, like by saying no, no to others. How to say, like when others said something and then want to ask something, or for themselves, and then Miss Vina just want to take a courage to say no, and then also comparing yourself with the others. Okay, just like because we live in because we Miss Vina believe that we have a different pace, and also that is why uh, attempt herself to not comparing herself. But can I ask a questions for you, Miss Fina? Okay, Miss Fina, actually you're still mute. Okay, Miss Fina. So you said before that by saying no, right? And also that is why like before you just feel sorry by saying no. But
Yeah.
what if like I said, actually I mentioned it before because I experienced it before, and also I how to say that I know there's something happen and I've observed about that. So there is if what if there is a conditions when your close one needs your
The
help, and
condition.
yes, and the condition that your close one is needs your help, but at the time you're not very happy, and then you think that if I do that I will be stressed, and also it will be how to say that, like Mr. Sunshine said before, that do I need to sacrifice myself for others happiness? And then that is why
Yeah.
before some people just mentioned that not by choosing themselves first, okay, not the others. But what about that condition?
The condition. So it's not only when people ask my help, but for example, my friend invited me to go hang out, and I still have another activity, but I felt so sorry if I say no. Oh no, I can't do it. But I was very afraid to say that. Yeah, that's one of the
Mm,
condition. Not only about the help. Yeah,
okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
afraid. I was afraid. Yeah, if they think that I was very urgent or anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think what I guess from Miss Pina is if it is not about the urgency, or it's not about an urgent thing, so it's just like she attempt to say no when before she will be afraid if others will be sad or will help her to say no by saying no. Okay, hello Mr. Ku. Okay, so hi, Mr. Ku, because since you just it's alright. So how do you practice your self-love, Mr. Ku? How do you love yourself? I know you really love yourself, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. G. Yesterday I have just joined this meeting, and how do you practice self-love? How to say it? When I, for example, it's like how to say the last discussion or last topic that we discussed about how to give the impact for for myself, and when I feel grateful for my life and I can spread enormous impact to many people, to adolescents, what I have that make become the legacy. Yeah, why not?
that makes me happy or makes me cozy to feel more grateful in my life, because I don't think comfortable when I only learn but I don't spread, when I don't spread my knowledge to many people. Not only pursuing the money, not only pursuing the job, but at least what I have I can spread to many people, because even we learn everything, but a lot we know everything, a lot we don't know anything. Moreover, when we talk about the love, oh, it's deeper meaning, I
Wow,
think.
it's so deep.
But essentially, I have the question: should I spread my love or I pursue, demanding getting loved? I don't know about it, but at least when I love myself and I have power, I can empower, such as I can spread my love. Means not only love female and male or something like that, but because loving is not only when we say I love you, but we
Yes.
care of you, we care of many people. Some, for example, I dislike when someone studies in high level, but they don't apply, they don't know the deeper meaning what they are studying about. They are capable of getting higher education, but they are arrogant. Why do you study in a private school? Why do you study in this institution, in these sectors? But at least when we have the chance to get the high position or high institution or high education, yeah, at least we are grateful, and also we have to think that we have to spread the huge impact for many people, because we are it means I love myself. Because of that, I can give the good value to others. Thank you, Miss Suchi. I don't know, maybe it's
Okay.
random opinion.
No, it's a very great. I think that's very deep. Okay, so like based on Mr. Ku, like practicing self-love, it means that sharing the love, right? So it's just like when you see happiness on others, it means for Mr. Ku, it's just like a source of his love. Okay, just like sharing his love, and then can make a big impact, and then sharing the value of ourselves. So like when we are giving one, and then we can give a 10 for the others, and then that will be a great love for Mr. Cook. Well, I think that's very deep. Okay.
Yeah, Miss, maybe I will give the additional only, how to say, less than 1 minute, because I love the discussion to keep practicing my English weekly. So I love Ota because Ota can how to serve us or serve me to improve my speaking. Thank you. I love you, Ota.
Okay. So Mr. So Mr. Ku just confessed his love for Ota. Oh my God. Okay. But me as a moderator for tonight's discussion, but I don't feel that love because you come very late tonight. Okay, that's so deep. Okay, sharing love, and also when we give impact for a lot of people, that what love is for Mr. Ku. Okay, okay, Mr. Sunshine, how do you practice your self love?
Okay, so I raise my hand not to respond the question, but to respond what has been Mr. Hu before. Okay, so I guess yeah, I guess there is a different track of life for everyone, and that's why Mr. Hu can proudly say that to sacrifice ourselves can be a good and most appropriate definitions of self-love. Okay, simply, and it is sufficient by only creating smiles within the faces of others can be acceptable for him. But I just want to say that someday you will find a limit, a positions in which that you can no longer become a clown for others. So your duty is not to make smile for others, but smile for yourselves. Okay, so stop being clown, Mr. Okay, I mean, like, to the extent of, yeah, sometimes you can see, despite having like a smiley face, yeah, a clown can also be described as a crying individual behind the shadow. So there will be some point in our life where we can no longer sacrifice ourselves for the sake of others. No, not at all. Okay, yeah. I hope that there would be no time for Mr. Hu to experience this bitter, these bitter sensations of living life for only sacrificing selves of others. Okay, I think that's quite response for me for him. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think like I just feel like Mr. Sunshine loved to Mr. Koo. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so Mr. Koo, just stop being a clown, said Mr. Sunshine. So it's not like it's not all about sacrificing. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine, for how to say, like, for to add some to confess your love actually. Okay, so Miss Akila, how do you practice your self love? Is that your opinion?
Yeah. Okay. I read a quote. This quote tell me about every art has a different beauty. So from there, I learned about how to accept my wake, how to accept my fault. And I realized that if I accept my wake, I can learn from there, and I can improve my myself from there. And I was tell a long time ago, I was always tell to myself that you cannot crying, you cannot be sad, you need to always smile, you need to always happy. But now I always tell to myself that it's okay if you're not uh okay today, it's okay if you want to cry, uh it's a human. So uh if I feel sad, I will crying. If I feel happy, I will laugh. If I need to go to somewhere, I will travel with my friends and I will hang out. So it's and I will avoid someone who makes me uncomfortable. Uh, and it's how to myself practice about self love. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Akila. So Miss Akila said that self-acceptance about that how we embrace all of emotion in ourselves. So that is why. But when we accept our weakness and learn from it, so we just like accept and work for it. So it's a very great opinion. It's just like because it's being emotional is a human thing, so there is no problem about that. Okay, that's how Miss Akila practice her self-love. About is it Miss or Mr. WAFD, WAFD? Please state your opinion. Oh, okay, Mr. Waf. Okay, so Mr. Saif. Okay, hi, Miss.
Yeah, hi, Miss. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just okay. Still about not comparing ourselves with others. So it relate about how we become more selective in choosing our circle of friends. Like if we have a circle not supporting ourselves, it's always comparing at the gang, how to say it? Okay, comparing comparing ourselves like this. I think we just we will always compare. Yeah, I think it's depend our circle of friends too. Like that. You can catch my ini, Miss. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Wow D. Okay, so I got what your point. So it means like self-love, it can be that when we are more selective in our circle, because like circle can be, how to say, like circle can also can construct ourselves, right? So that is why ourself is also like, how to say, like individual from society, and society is from individual. So that is why the circle also can define ourselves also. That is why we need to be more selective, and that is also maybe why, like, the more older we get, that the smaller circle we have. I think, yeah, I think that that is what Miss Wafdi want to say, that we need to be more selective to our circle because it can also define ourselves. Okay, thank you. And also, Mr. Saifullah Putra, how do you practice your self-love? How you love yourself? How do you love yourself?
Okay, thank you for giving me an opportunity, Miss Suchi.
Okay, no
How do I
problem.
practice my self-love is related to my health, because yeah, sometimes I feel insecure, or not, I feel not confident with my body, because yeah, my body's weak. And then if someone's taking a picture to me, yeah, I'm just feel insecure. I don't want to taken a picture by someone, or somebody, because yeah, because my body's weak. So sometimes my size, my body, it can be affecting my confidence, or my confidence to talking with someone, or just to take a picture by someone. And then I I have a plan to yeah to increase my confidence with I always go to gym maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then maybe and also in my camp have a agenda. Every Friday nights we will play futsal together. Maybe our camp play against the other camp weekly. So how that's how I practice myself with my health, my body's health. Maybe enough, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saifullah Putra. I think it is also like a very, very basic, how to say, like basic shape of the self-love, because like when we turn our insecurities because something more positive. And that is why it's like when Mr. Saifullah Putra said before that I feel insecure about my body, and then that is why I realize about that I need to work on this, and then that is why I become more positive and also become healthier for himself. I think that is the best point. So he changed his insecurity, become the positive things for himself, not for others, but to boost his confidence. So I think it's very great. Thank you for sharing your experience, Mr. Saifullah Putra, and also Mr. AK. Hello, Mr. AK.
Hello, Mr. Chi. Thank you
Hi,
for the
Mr.
time. Can you hear
AK.
me?
Yes, I can hear you very clear,
Right.
Mr.
I was
Alexander.
away from keyboard before. I'm sorry if what I'm trying to say has been said by others before, but I do agree that self-love is just associated with things you always do when you love it. I mean, trying to do what you love, being healthy for me is an important thing to do do my self-work, and also learning what I like, doing sport, for example, yeah, a lot of things. everything that I like is just building my self-worth. But I do understand that our choice is very limited at the moment. Just like what has been said by Miss Leah before, one of them is because of our hustle cultures. We are forced to work so many hours. That's why it's kind of hard for us to improve ourselves and do what we love every day. That's why for me, I do some, or I let a specific time for me to enjoy myself. Like, for instance, every weekend I always, um, you know, spare the time or take the time for me to improve myself, like reading books or doing sports or even watching movies. Yeah, I always try to find a specific time for me to enjoy myself in order to, being healthy and others. And additionally, I think that doing self-love doesn't mean that you are selfish or self-seeking. I agree with what has been said by Mr. Ku before. When others are happy, I think we also feel happy, right? For me, bliss and happiness are contagious. Um, it can be spread by other people to other people too. For instance, when we um, educate our friends, when we give what we have to our friends, I believe that sometimes, or you often feel happy because of, you know, giving what you have to other people in need, for instance. And I think it's also one of the things that you can do to, to do your self-love, because knowledge can be very beneficial if it is spread to other people, right? I think that's what Mr. Ku feel. And it's also important to declutter your friends. I mean, you need to select your friends that are good for you, that can improve yourself, because I agree that environment can construct people. When your environment is positive, yourself would also be positive. On the other hand, when your environment or your surrounding is not supportive, you will also feel bad or feel unhappy. That's why decluttering our friends are very worthwhile here, in my viewpoint. And another thing that I would like to say is about, building or constructing our society well. I mean, when we can benefit for others and our environment is good, I think our happiness, our bliss always happens, right? That's why self-love means for me building our environment better. When our environment can be better, ourselves can be better as well. That's my short opinion on this. Thank you, Mrs.
Okay, thank you, Mr. AK or Mr. Alex. Okay. So it's just like based on Mr. AK said that like okay, so just like Mr. AK said that improving oneself can be can also like how to make yourself being healthy, being happy. It's just like also it's a point of being self-love and also sharing the love, like as Mr. Ku said before, like when we share our love and then when we see the other happiness, we also become happy. So that can say that self-love is selfish when we're sharing it with the others, and also that selective in choosing the circle, or also selective in choosing our friends, because our environment, like I mentioned it before, like our environment, our circle can also define ourselves. If the environment or the circle is positive, we also can become a positive person. And also, like Mr. AK said before, that I think is very it is almost become my topic today about the constructing the environment. Like about the constructing environment, it's very important, because when we build the environment, and then it can become ourselves become better along with it. And then that is why it become a point that we love ourselves, because because we need to make a positive thing in our environment. And that is why constructing or building our environment becomes a better place. It's also it's a point of self-love. Okay, Miss Maya. Okay, Miss Maya, do you want to state your opinion? Like, how do you practice your self-love? How do you love yourself?
Yes, Miss, thank you for the time. Actually, I do agree with speaker before that. Don't compare yourself with another people's achievement, perhaps, because everyone has their own way to reach their goals. And it's okay if you compare yourself with another people, but the purpose is just improve your spirit to reach your goals. And self-love is an important thing for us during real life in Earth, because I believe that if someone not have self-loving, how they can love or care with someone else. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Maya. So Miss Maya said that if we don't love ourselves, how can we love others? And also, like it is okay to compare ourselves, but with the intention that to how to say that with the intention to make our spirit to reach our goals. So it's a compare ourselves to others for for ourselves. So it is okay. Okay, so I think thank you for sharing all of your opinions. So maybe like for the next slide. So before I just found that how do you practice your self-love? And the next slide. So actually it's just like I found that 6 unconventional ways to practice self-love. Which is like, so the first one is forgive. Like how the Joe Thompson said that forgiveness always sounds sickly sweet and pathetic until you witness for yourself its boundless and freeing power. And also do hard things. So it's not about laziness. So it's not about selfishness. So if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. However, if you do what's hard, your life will be easy. And Les Brown said, and also believe in something bigger than yourself. I was taught that you must believe in something bigger than yourself in order to get something bigger than yourself, said James Prince. So it's about like mediocrity, said before. So it's not about mediocre. When you say that you love yourself, it's not being like mediocre for yourself. And then also embrace the gray. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. So who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart? Okay, so it's just like it's related with Miss Livia said before that like we cannot see we just cannot see a thing like black and white. So there is a gray, and then we need to embrace that the gray, because we cannot destroy a piece of our heart, own heart also. And also take on responsibility. Once again, it's not about ignorance, and also it's not about selfishness. So self-love is like the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the serving of others. It's very has a relation with Mr. Ku and also Mr. AK said before. So it's just like Mahatma Gandhi said, like the best way to find yourself to lose yourself in the serving of others. And also create. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have, said Maya Angelou. So I think all of this, it's one of the example maybe we can also adopt to ourselves, like how to practice ourselves. And also the next slide, Mr. Sunshine, the last slide. Okay, so as we talk about self-love before, and also of course it's based on our subjective reason also. So does self-love make your life more complicated, or instead become the solution of your problem? Like Mr. Sunshine said before to Mr. Ku, that you can sacrificing yourself. Is the love is not only about the sacrifices to stop being a clown. So it's just like, is if that is correct, if that is what happened, if that is the truth, because I cannot confirm it. So it's just like, so it means that self-love for Mr. Ku is just not more like complicated thing in his life, right? It's not the solution, but it's a complicated thing. So what is your opinion about this? So is this make you more suffer, or sometimes it becomes solution of your problem. So when is self-love become a solution of your problems? Okay, is there anyone who wants to talk about it? Mr. Ku, maybe?
Right, you just me. Right, yeah, I will give. Thank you, Mr. T. You know what? I want to say something about this topic. Does self-love make yourself more complicated, or instead become a solution of your problems? It depends on how far or how deep we deliver, or we try to break down the meaning of love. Means don't not to be important to love, but loving to be important. Why? Because we don't minimize the meaning of love, the terminology of love, but we are not responsible of loving ourselves, such as what some previous speakers said, that we are loving many people, but we forget to love ourselves. What I said, not I agree with Mr. AK, Mr. Robert, Mr. Alexander. It depends on we are as selfish or altruistic. When we have fulfilled our love, yeah, we have power about love, and we can spread the love itself to several people. Yeah, thank you. Maybe it can be the solution when our love has been fulfilled, but it will be complicated when we don't know our love, but we try to spread the love itself to many people. Thank you, Miss Yuchi.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ku. Okay, Mr. Ku said that it can be a solution when you already fulfilled your love. Okay, your one love is so that if you already make sure that your love is already fulfilling, and then you can spread it. But it will be more complicated when you don't know whether it is love or not, and then well, I just want to spread it first, and then maybe that is it, that will be make it more complicated. Okay, because of the time limit, so maybe we can hear the last the okay, Mr. Wafdi. So Mr. Wafdi will be the last opinion. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Home. Okay, thank you, Miss, for the opportunity, and it become last. Yeah, I think self-love will be solution if it can improve ourselves. It will develop ourselves, become more, become better, and then if we just stuck or become worse, maybe it's apa ya? It's our problem. How to? Yeah, like that, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wafdi, I got your point. So if a self-love means the improvement and development, so it means it will become your solution of your problem. But the self-love will make you become a mediocre or just even worse. So it means that self-love will be make more complicated. So based on Miss WFD, so it means like it's about our own concept about self-love, and also the impact, or about the impact of our own concept about the self-love itself. So that is why in the beginning, like I said before, it's a little bit tricky, and because like love itself is just like subjective experience. So that is why it is very difficult to define what love is, or even what self-love is. So I think that's all from me. And then thank you for all of you who have give your opinion tonight. And I'm very happy that we have such lively discussions. So thank you for your interest, and also thank you for all of your opinions. I think that's all from me. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Sunshine.
Okay, thank you so much for Ms. Suchi for becoming the one chairing us in our tonight discussion. Okay, so before ending our discussions, I'd like to share with you something that might be improvable from our previous discussion. Okay, so yeah, there are several things. For example, like because my WhatsApp web isn't is isn't active, and that's why it needs some restart. But actually, yeah, wait a moment. Okay, so some of you say just now like something like this. Okay, gonna give about my opinion. Okay, so so from this structure there is something wrong. So we do not need to give about here. Okay, you want to give opinion without about. Yeah. So opinion about will be more precisely to be used after the opinion. I'm gonna give my opinion about. I'm going to give you information about. Okay, and the second one of you also say something like this one without ignore them. So if we use some verbs and we put it after without, we must consider that we need to add in after that. Okay, so it would be ignoring. Yeah. Okay. One, it has to be written and spoken with ink after the verb, without ignorant, without living, without loving, without missing. Okay, and for the next one of you also say other person. Okay, so be mindful and that when we use other means that something that follows other that should be in plural as well. So it is not person, yeah, but people. Okay, or you can say like individuals. Okay, and the next one, there would be some lexical resources, yeah, some sophisticated words that we can use in our daily activities. For example, like over push, yeah, and then means that yang terlalu mendorong. But basically, it should be written like this because you couldn't find any verb like over push. This is like combinations of two words actually. And then chill, yeah, chill means nyantai, bersantai, yeah. And then there is self-exaltation, self, yeah. Probably some of you found this word in our presentation just now and do not know or have no idea on what does it actually can be interpreted. Okay, self-excitation means that peninggian derajat atau kegembiraan terhadap diri sendiri. Oke, kemudian tadi bagus ada Mr. Angga yang mengatakan additionally. Jadi additional itu bagus banget ya teman-teman, agar kalian juga bisa mewarnai tidak hanya sebenarnya tuh di otak. Walaupun kita diskusinya casual, itu juga bisa menjadi your platform untuk membantu kamu agar bisa speak more academic kayak gitu ya. Jadi penggunaan additionally atau penggunaan linking word itu bisa sangat bermanfaat banget mengubah style kamu bicara lebih yang pas untuk ruang kuliah kayak gitu. Jadi kalau kita misalnya pakai bahasa-bahasa casual, misalnya kayak pakai conjunction fun boys kayak itu, for, also, not, but, or. Nah, itu tuh kayak ya biasa ya sama teman gitu. Tapi nanti beda konteks kalau misalnya kita berhadapan dengan para akademisi, dengan para lecturers in front of our members or students gitu. We need to change the type and the word choices as well. Di antaranya adalah dengan menggunakan additionally. Selain additionally, kamu juga bisa menggunakan furthermore, moreover, ya, gitu. Dan menurutku akan sangat penting buat next discussion kalian sudah punya beberapa kosakata, ya, beberapa kosakata yang menurut kalian itu sangat menarik banget, gitu ya. Dan kalian ingin praktekkan. Jadi di sini tuh tempat untuk praktek, gitu. So far kalau misalnya kalian sama teman-teman itu kayak kesulitan banget gitu kan ngedapetin teman, ya kan? Nah, di sini nanti ada teman yang setia mendengarkan kamu, yang setia menemani kamu mempraktekkan bahasa Inggris kamu. Jadi kosakata yang kamu dapatkan selama 1 minggu sebelum diskusi otak, praktekkan semuanya di otak, kayak gitu ya. Setiap hari kalian hafalkan 5 kosakata, praktekkan semuanya di otak. 5 dikalikan 6, 30 kosakata baru kalian bisa praktekkan di otak. Itu ya. Oke, kemudian juga ada kata yang bagus, misalnya kayak tadi itu, contagious ya. Jadi happiness itu contagious. Oke, mungkin itu saja buat malam ini. Thank you so much teman-teman sudah bergabung bersama kita semuanya. Before everything, I'd like to invite you